There we go. And we're crashing. We are crashing heavily. And let's see what happens here. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video, we're back in Tiny Sailor's World. And today, we are checking out the Costa Concordia again. So yeah guys, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we have the ship by Carnival Corporation, or Costa Cruise Lines. And today is January 13th, 2022. The day the ship went down was January 13th, 2012. So that marks the 10th year anniversary of its sinking. So yeah, unfortunately people did die during this sinking, and if you want to see some great videos on it, I have links in the top right corner now. So if you want to learn a little bit about it, check those out first and then return here. So yeah, so let's go ahead, get this thing loaded up with some passengers and sail it out. Alright, so while loading up our passengers here, we're just going to get 3,700, and we'll just do 370 there. That seems good. Now, we're going to try to sink this ship as realistically as possible. However, if we're going to run it aground, that means we have to run it aground on the starboard side and not the port side like it was in real life. So in real life, the ship struck the rocks on the port side, kind of went out to open ocean, and then its engine stopped. It flipped around and then drifted back, ran into the ground again, and then leaned on that side, and then free surface effect took over, and then the ship just kind of continued to roll further over to that side. Now, since Tiny Sailor's World doesn't have free surface effect, we can't quite do that, but we can run the ship into rocks on this starboard side, and that would cause us to roll over, which would be more realistic. So yeah, now I should turn around because I do want to sail from one port to another, kind of do it a little realistically, a bit of a cruise before we sink the thing, obviously. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna turn the ship around, get it over to Tokyo, and yeah, we don't really have any places in Italy around here, so we can't quite do it realistically, but we're gonna just try our best to recreate the sinking in Tiny Sailor's World. So yeah, now as we make our way to Tokyo, I want to tell you about my my memories of the Costa Concordia sinking. So obviously that was 10 years ago now, so quite a while, but I remember I was anticipating the 100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking, and I just kind of found it funny that this massive cruise ship had struck rocks and sank, or kind of capsized. And yeah, it was just a huge surprise to me that this massive ship would go down like that so close to the 100th anniversary of Titanic sinking. So yeah, very, very interesting. And you know, the biggest cruise ship story before then was Sea Diamond and Oceanos. Alright, we're back on course, and as you can see, the sun is about to rise here, and we just see Tokyo out in front of us. We might as well just dock here, and I want to tell you a little bit about what happened after the Costa Concordia sank, what it was doing while it was sitting there. And it's actually not the greatest stuff ever. It's a bit bad. Alright, so first let's go ahead and dock this thing. I do see a port right over, well, I believe, yeah, there's one right there. We're actually going to go for the one on the left here. We're going to slow this thing down, let it drift on into port, and we'll see my docking skills in a minute here. So, yeah. Let's see my docking skills here. Let's see if I can get this thing into the dock without breaking anything. So here we go. We're going to go dead slow. Oop, nope, we're going to reverse. Slow this thing down. Alright, so here we go. We're just going to bring this thing in nice and steady. Make sure we don't hit anything, and we should be good. Alright, here we go. Nicely does it there as we pull into the port in Tokyo, and we have a beautiful sunrise just behind us, and that looks perfect. And stop. There we go. So we have successfully docked the Costa Concordia. Now, after the Costa Concordia rolled over and capsized, it slowly filled with water and sank down to the seabed. However, the balcony cabins just couldn't support the weight, and as it slid down the seabed slightly, what happened is it crushed those balcony cabins, and all of the stuff in those balcony cabins slipped out and just fell onto the seabed. So obviously that wasn't good. There's a lot of personal effects in those cabins, and they're all on the seabed, and they're also polluting everything around there. Also, there was some oil leakage from the ship as well, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong on that, but from what I've read, there was a bit of an oil spill with the ship sinking. So what happened there is they put a ring around the ship on the surface of the water to make sure none of that oil would get further out to sea, and this yacht almost just crashed into the dock there. Anyways, the people of Gillett really didn't like that this ship was here. It brought in a lot of tourism, but it really ruined the atmosphere of the beaches there, at least for the people that, well, lived there. So, yeah, not super great for them. Luckily, the ship was righted, towed out of its position, and then the beach was cleaned up, and the area underneath the ship was cleaned up. So, obviously, nothing would drift out to sea or just stay there. So, yeah, everything's now clean today as far as I'm aware, and everything's just back to normal for Gillett. But, yeah, anyways, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna load up with some more passengers, and then we're gonna sink the ship. Alright, we are loaded up with our passengers and cargo, and are ready to depart. So, here we go. So, we're going to go ahead and dead slow in reverse here, and here we are departing Tokyo for the last time. So, there we go. Alright, we are leaving Tokyo. Say goodbye, because that is the last time we're going to see it with the Costa Concordia, at least today. So, yeah, here we go. Alright, that should be good. So let's go ahead and stop the ship from doing whatever it's doing there. And now we're going to go ahead and do full ahead on the engines, because we are getting out of here. So, goodbye, Tokyo. We will never see you again. Now, you may be asking, how did the ship run aground in the first place? Now, the captain saw the rocks, and he was like, obviously we're gonna crash into them. So, he said, turn to starboard, or hard a port. And when he said that, the helmsman didn't interpret it properly, and he turned too late. And what happened is the ship ran into the rocks. Now, every ship that you will probably be on, if it's a large ship at least, will have a black box or a voyage data recorder. So this records every single movement. So let's say I turn to port and then I turn to starboard. That would all be recorded just like I'm recording a video here. And it would be in data format. You'd have to take it off the voyage data recorder, and luckily these things are pretty sturdy, so if they go underwater for a period of time, the data can be recovered. You know, let's say you drop an old phone in water and it dies immediately, you still can recover that data. It just is gonna take a little while. Now, I should mention that 32 people died during this sinking, and one of them was an Indian waiter by the name of Russell Rebello. He died a hero trying to get people out of the ship and get them onto lifeboats, and it is a tragic story. There was one where a woman went down, and I believe she got lost, and she was found in the kitchen space after the ship had gone down, and it seems that she was trying to get to the other side of the ship but just lost her way, and the water trapped her and she had no way out. I mean, these are very scary and sad stories to hear, and it's very unfortunate that these people died the way they did. You know, they could have all been saved if things went differently. And I know the captain would disagree with that, but I feel during the sinking, many mistakes were made. I mean, not calling to abandon ship almost immediately after they realized the ship was going down and it was doomed was a big mistake, because these people were panicking on a listing ship trying to get off, and it is very unfortunate that these people died the way that they did. On a bit of a lighter note, here we are in Manila. So, yeah, now that we're here in Manila, we've unloaded our passengers, and now we can go ahead and sink the ship. Here we go. We are about to run aground. This is it. Let's see if we can do it, and do it realistically. Oh, there we go. And we're crashing. We are crashing heavily. And let's see what happens here. Well, we have a list. That is accurate. And now we're going to go ahead and see if we can kind of beach it like it did in real life. So now we have the list. It is listing over to the right side. Alright, so now that we've stopped the ship and now that it's actually at the destination that we need it to be at, which is kind of in shallow water here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to basically scuttle it. And we're going to scuttle it on the starboard side so it actually rolls over properly. So as you can see, the list is already getting worse here as the ship goes down. You see the boats leaving. You got one that just left there that's just reached the shoreline and has stopped. So now we're really rolling over far here. You can see, yeah, this is it, folks. She is about to completely go over here. Look at this. So I've turned off the UIs here so you can actually get a clear view of this going down. And there she goes. So she may roll over even farther than she did in real life. Yeah, she is. Look at that. She's about to hit bottom here. And yeah, there she goes. As you can see, the ship is heavily rolling over to the one side. The funnel has just collapsed, and this is it for the Costa Concordia, folks. She is pretty much gone at this stage. Not sure how the lifeboats got up onto the land over there, but they did. Unfortunately, only 4 boats have escaped so far, and that is it. Now you can see the ship is, well, it is pretty much gone at this stage. I think it might stop sinking in a moment. I'm not quite sure because the funnel has slipped underneath the hull. So when it collapsed down into the water, it kind of slipped down the shoreline a little bit, and now it's kind of stuck a little bit in that awkward position holding the ship up. But we'll see what happens in the next few minutes here. So this is a great visualization of what would happen if the ship had run aground further out at sea, or kind of sank further out at sea. And you'd see that it would be, well, a lot worse. The ship is even deeper in the water than the real ship was. It's pretty much on its side completely here. And I'm going to go ahead and abandon ship and make my way to the shoreline here. As you can see, here we are on the shoreline, and wow, that is a very dramatic scene right there. Holy cow. Obviously, the power is still on right now, but in real life, it wouldn't be that way. As you can see, that is the end for the Costa Concordia. And, yeah, very interesting scene here. Now, I have sunk the Costa Concordia once before in this game, and it was a little more realistic than this one. Actually, I don't know if it was. I think we sank it in even deeper water. But that was on the old map, and yes, I will throw a link in the top right corner to that as well. And as you can see, the sun is rising over the mountain there. So there it is, folks. Costa Concordia capsized in Tiny Sailor's World with a sunrise there. A very dramatic scene for sure. And, yeah, there she is. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.